share. All right. That's what we need you lot to do. Let me introduce myself. I go by the name of DJ Ridler from Live Links, and I'm one of the members from the Baby Fathers. I got my co-host with me, and I got my boy
G1 West.
Welcome, Gigi.
They are.
And we've got a special guest in the studio today. You usually don't see ladies really featuring on the Baby Fathers, but we do have a special guest who's coming to air her opinions, and she goes by the name of
Shells.
What, go on, Shells?
You're right, thank you for having me.
Yes. I can feel the tension in the air.
I've been itching to get, I was going to say the female perspective across, but that's not right because I might not be speaking for all females. So
that's
it's
fine.
Just my opinion, but yeah.
That's fine.
Itching.
That's fine. All right, so listen up. Mothers itself, all right? I will start off with bitter mums before I start moving on to other subjects, all right? Why are mothers... Well, I'm going to say the word some, because not all.
Yeah.
Right? Why is some mothers so bitter to a father?
I think it's going to come down to a lot of things. One, it could possibly be to do with age. I really think you're going to have a difference between a baby mum who is 21 and a baby mum who is 31. There's got to, surely, but in 10 years, you've got to mature and be seeing things differently. Also, it's going to be a lot down to do with feelings. I've always told my friends who are in relationships or in situations where maybe they break up with their baby mum or their baby father, it will always be different when the person does not have feelings for the other person no more. When that is genuinely gone. And you're not harbouring, whether that's feelings of love or feelings of hate. Only when that's gone can you really do and think clearly without, do you see what I mean? And think logically and do what's right. But if there's any kind of feelings still there, like I said, whether it's you're still holding feelings for the person or you're just very angry at the person, a mum can't ever really say that she's thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So there's always a little bit, and I'll give you an example. Even if I might be thinking, okay, well, I don't care about my baby father, I don't want to be with him, or and I don't hate him, but if he annoys me, and that gets to me, then the next week I might not do things that are spiteful, but maybe I'll do things that just make it a little bit harder.
Well, why would you do that though? Like, why are you going to make a dad's life just a bit difficult that week? Why are you going to make his life that just a tiny bit difficult that particular week?
Not. I wouldn't say difficult, okay. Right? What I would say is, in my personal experience, I feel like, even from when I was in a relationship with my partner, I always feel like I was always doing things to be helpful. So, always like, oh, I'll do the food shopping, I'll do this, I'll remind you that you have to do that, I'll remind you that you have to be... That was the role, right? Yeah. So then when you break up and you take that away, you soon start to realise that person can't really function without you reminding them constantly. So then when you're not with them now, and you've got a bit of feeling towards them, like, you're not my responsibility no more, I don't owe you nothing, you get a bit fed up of like, do I need to remind you? So for example, if something's coming up to do with our daughter, and I'm like, I could remind you that next week is her parents' evening. Okay. I could remind you. Or I could just go about my business and live my life and take care of me and my child, and come next week, if you forget, you forget.
But then...
That's not being spiteful. I haven't gone out of my way to do nothing to you. I'm not caring for you. I'm not your mum, not babying you. But what I'm saying is, these things, sometimes I've been in a situation where the baby father can then see that as you were difficult, as you made things difficult, if they then go on to, do you see what I mean, miss something. But it's not being spiteful. It's not like I told you couldn't come. I just didn't remind you, which I know obviously if you're maybe the 8 years we was together, you needed that reminding. I'm just doing me now.
Yeah, but I think, I hear where you're coming from, I don't get you wrong, but I think if it's just coming down, G's being very quiet.
I'm just listening to the conversation. I need to hear what's going on.
Because to me, I hear where you're coming from, and I said I understand what you're saying, but I think if it's just coming down to communication, like, it's easy for a father to forget. If he's had a busy week, I'm not saying he should forget, but sometimes it can slip your mind. Like with myself, I put things as a reminder on my phone so I don't forget. Right? But I will also get a message maybe from the mum to just like a reminder, right? Just to let you know this is happening tomorrow. I do vice versa. I do the same thing. It's more like kind of communicating just to make sure that it happens, because what happens is, even still you haven't told the dad, right? Say going to the parents' evening, right? For one, the school looks at it, they're only seeing one parent sitting in front of them. So they might, I think sometimes teachers can judge. Like, I only saw one parent. Maybe some parents, people don't care. When I used to work in a school, I used to see only one parent turn up, or some parents didn't even turn up. You would notice that. So it lets you know what kind of support you have back at home. Alright? So that can...
Not really. Because what if the other half was at work? He can't make that meeting.
I do.
So they wouldn't think that it's got no support. The dad could be at work, the mum could be at work, it could be vice versa.
I do get what Ridler's saying though, in the sense that in the beginning, I was very conscious of trying to make sure the school always had the best image of me. Like, you don't ever want to be the parent that's late, or it's party day, who forgot to bring food. You always want to be like, you know what I'm saying, and always like, I could be me who I'm, but I always say, listen, when I turn up to the school gate, you're gonna know me as a nice professional lady. Like, you're always trying to give me that. So like I said, even though I think when it's the truth in the fact that dad is at work, you think nothing of it and you'll go parents' evening. But when the situation is really, it's awkward, we're not speaking, it's like you're worrying that the parents...
So what you're saying is the teacher might be able to pick up on that.
Listen, one time, I tell you, went to the parents' evening, me and my daughter's dad, we met outside. We was not speaking. Like I said, we met outside, and he turned up obviously a couple minutes late. That pissed me off, because obviously I'm damn ready. I have to wait for you. We went in and we sat at that table. Like my daughter's only young, so the little baby table, the little baby table, and we sat on the little baby chair right next to each other and listened to what the teacher had to say, and then left. And as soon as we got out the door, split and went in the opposite direction. But that's what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted the teacher to know that, my daughter had both her parents turn up. Don't get me wrong. See now, because I've been separated from my daughter's dad for like 4 years now.
Okay.
Now,
4 years.
4 years, yeah. Now I will turn up to parents' evening alone, because now I'm really not trying to. But
are you thinking about even though it's not the image to the school, not the image to your school, say, but even like your daughter, like, because she would remember. If daddy turns up
100%, if he wants to come, don't get me wrong, I would not tell him. I would never, like I said, to me, that's spiteful. If you're the one that gets the information and you don't pass that information on, then that was your decision to hold that back. But I will pass the information. I will say, parents' evening is on this date, blah, blah. I will say what time is it. If you want to come, you want to come. What I will not do, and this is what I'm saying, I feel this is where mums get frustrated, and when dads are giving their opinion, the mum will be thinking, no, I'm fed up of it, because they might be thinking, I told you when the parents' evening was. I reminded you when it was. I asked you if you was going to come, and you still didn't come. Or maybe you didn't come last year and the year before. So unfortunately, third year, they decided they couldn't even be bothered to remind. I think that's where it comes from, and that's where I was.
So at this point, do you tell him now?
I will tell him 100%. You will get told. You will get told that it's on this day at this time.
Is that through text or through talking on the phone?
It's through text. We don't communicate through anything through text.
Do you find it's easier to communicate with text than talking to the father itself?
No, I would prefer to have a conversation. And when the conversation requires more than a text message, I will pick up the phone and I will ring. He will never ring me. Okay. He will never ring me.
Why would he never ring you?
I don't know. You have to ask him that. You have to ask him that. He will never ring me. But me, so if it's serious enough, so like when COVID happened and it's lockdown now, and you're not meant to be mixing and all, I'ma ring you and I'ma say, when you take our daughter on your weekends, what are you doing? Like, are you following the rules? Are you keeping her around? I'll say, because it's important. Like you said, this is what I'm saying. The bit of mums that you're talking about that don't act in the best interest of their children, I don't get that, and I can't understand where they're coming from. Because even though me and him might not communicate, or we find things different, or whatever, anything I do is going to be in the best interest of my daughter. So if I need to know where she is for her safety, then I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to ask you.
What if you don't pick up the phone?
He would.
When you're calling, what if he doesn't?
He would ring back. Because,
would you get angry?
No, I wouldn't get angry. Because I would trust that he would ring back, because he would know I don't ring him a lot. So he would his first instance would probably think...
So he would phone you back within 24 hours?
Yeah, he'd phone me back, because he would probably think it's something...
said within 24 hours.
But that's changing the case, though.
I mean like an hour. dude. 24 hours.
24 hours, so when's he going to run back to you? He has to run back to you at some point.
It is not reasonable that anyone in this day and age don't look at their phone for 24 hours.
I know that, but with me, I give the 24-hour grace, innit?
You're kind.
You know, when it
You
comes,
got patience. 24 hours.
you know, when it comes to your kids, 24 hours is too long. Like friending is not a problem. Your friend don't message you back. But with your child, you got to think all the time, what if that call is urgent? Like,
but if I phone the mum's phone, right, and she'd say she didn't pick up, I'm just giving it 24 hours because I'm not going to keep them beating off a line in it. I'm just going to phone her once. If you see my missed call, I give you 24 hours to get back to me. If you don't get back to me, I'm going to ask you why. How come you didn't get back?
Yeah.
You get me? So I don't, because I think what can happen is, you see, like if you phone someone's phone and then they don't answer, they get back to you, like, they don't answer. And then 2-3 hours have gone past and they still haven't gotten back to you. Like, so I think, oh, how come they haven't gotten back to me? But if I give it 24 hours, I know in 24 hours you have to see your phone at that particular time. So that's the reason why I just give the 24 hours.
Yeah.
If it's emergency, then it's different. You
that
get me?
makes sense, and that's very good for your peace of mind, like,
Yeah.
to keep you calm.
Okay, so what
Not
about?
me. I'm just saying, don't play me like that, because there used to be a time when we weren't getting on very well, and he always used to take long to message back. So I would message him, and then literally like 3 hours later he'd message me back, and it was just like, hold on, I've just been with you for about 8 years. I know in 8 years.
His pattern.
Your pattern. Like, see my sister, this girl ain't gonna message you back. I know that. Like, that's how she is. Like, you know how some people are. I message you, you don't always message back.
You mean?
Yeah, you take long. I'm asking you a question, you take long.
24 hours.
But it's what I'm saying. Like you said,
Man said he's giving you 24 hours.
No, but I said, because 24 hours to get back in it.
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, you get to know people's patterns. So for some people, it's normal. So you wouldn't think nothing of it. But when you've been with someone for 8 years, I know how you move, and you don't take long. Your phone is in your hand. That's how you roll. So it started to be like a bit of a mind game. Like, why do you always have to take 3 hours to message back? And then literally I reply something, and then you don't reply back again for free. I just think.
Do you think he tries to do with you the less as he can?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Why are you difficult?
No, I'm not difficult. But that, I feel that was definitely his strategy, because the communication was very minimal. And what I would say is, being apart for 4 years, there's been differences in how we communicate. And there's been really bad times when we don't communicate at all, and it is literally minimal. And then there are times when
The sun's out. Let me see what my baby mother's doing.
Listen, well, not that,
See
but
what colour she's in today.
not that, but we're talking about the child, and we're putting a little LOL.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like, our daughter's doing this, LOL. So then it's like, okay. But all I'm saying is, there's huge benefits to that communication. Like, it's not about being friends. It's not about that. All I'm saying is, when it's really bad and you can't talk at all and everything has to be minimal, then both parents are it's going to affect the child, and it's going to affect both of you, because like I said, if you can't casually, so like for now, me and him get on much better. Again, we still don't speak, we're not friends like that, but we communicate a little bit more. So say my daughter's doing something, I might message him and tell him about it. So she put on an Arsenal kit that he bought her for Christmas. So obviously she put it on in our house. I thought he might like to see her in the Arsenal kit. I don't know when she will wear it for him. So I took a picture, I sent it to him. He messaged back, like the picture. Do you see what I mean? Like, but that was something that you got because I afforded you that. I decided to send you that. But if somebody is if a mum's on a mad thing and she's not going to think to do that.
So what's your take then? What's the latest time you think you should be able to text your baby father?
The latest time? There's no time. What do you mean? If I'm communicating about my child, I'm going to text at whatever time.
So you could text him 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
If that's the time I feel, if that's the time I feel, what do you mean? It's not. If I'm talking to you solely about my child, if she was sick? What if she was
that's
sick?
appropriate?
Yeah, of course it's appropriate. What if she was sick right there and then?
No, that is different.
That's different.
That's different.
Now, sickness is a different. You call anytime. It's an emergency.
Okay, all right, I'll give you an example. I often text him at about 7 o'clock in the morning, but that's because I've woken up. I usually wake up about 6. I'm getting ready. I'm doing, these are when things come into my head. So the text will always be about my daughter, and it might be something about, say it's his day to collect her or from school, and say I want to tell him like, oh, when you pick her up from school, don't forget this, or or can you ask the teacher that? They come into my head at 7 o'clock. There's been plenty of times when I've thought, 7 o'clock's too early. I'll message him later. I go to work. I then forget. Sometimes it all after 3:30, I'm like, you were supposed to message. So I message at 7 o'clock, and I don't know if he thinks that's appropriate. I don't know if his missus thinks that's appropriate, but that's your business.
When did you think it's right? If you say like if your ex-partner had obviously you two got a child together, and he went into a relationship with somebody else, is it going to be you have to see the girlfriend first? Is your child allowed around the girlfriend? Or does he have to have that conversation with you first?
Don't laugh at me. He's asking you the question.
No, okay, the reason why, no, I was laughing because obviously I'm going to talk from my own personal experience. And my experience is my daughter's dad has moved on. He has a partner.
How did you take that when you heard about he had a partner? Be real.
I'll be honest with you. Didn't care. Like, I didn't care one bit because I was truly over him.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I was truly over him. But like you said, it's not about being over someone. It's not about feelings. It's about parenting. Yeah. And like you said, it's about those real questions of who is this person? Yeah. Who are they? Where do they live? Are they safe? And all those questions that came into my mind, he did not afford me the courtesy of answering any of these questions or respecting me in any way.
So when you asked him them questions, what did he say back to you?
Basically, mind your business.
Just point blank.
Basically, mind your business. So all now, I don't know who his partner is. I don't know where she lives. And my daughter goes there on every other weekend. She sleeps there. Yeah, I don't know when she started sleeping there. So obviously now, my daughter's only 7, and I don't want to be asking a 7-year-old questions. But the fact that her dad decided that he did not want to tell me these things, I had to try and ask her. So you just casually, I'll be like, oh, what did you do at Daddy's this weekend? Was you at Nanny? Do you know what I mean? Was you at Nanny's? Because they used to stay at her nan's a lot. She stayed at nan's a lot. Was you at Nanny's? You have a good time? Did it? But I'm asking these questions because when I found out he had a girlfriend, I was trying to find out when it will change, because I know how it was. Like my dad, when he broke up with my mum, there was a certain after a amount of time we started going to your woman's house. Like, do you know what I mean? So I was trying to figure that out. But I asked him very clearly. I asked him in a message. I told him why I felt I should know, and he very much said he didn't think it was my business, and that as the dad, he is responsible and he can make his own decisions, and I must trust, that he makes the best for our child. And I wasn't allowed to find out anything. So I did used to keep saying to my daughter, what did you do this weekend? And gradually one time she would say, oh, we went to this person's house and we slept there.
But it's still good that you sent her though. That was good of you to still send her. Do you know what I mean? You didn't say, you know what, I don't know who she is, and stop. You get me? Because with my situation, she want to know where I live, like she don't know where I live. That was one of her things, one of her walls that she used to put up is, where do you live? I'm saying, you know where I live.
So
where do you live? Wanted to know where I live.
Some people will definitely be erratic over that, and they will definitely quickly pull back that control and be like, no, you can't go then. Like you said, like, until I meet the person, you can't go.
I think that's foolish still.
But where I came from literally a sense of, does my child want to go to her dad's? Yes, she does. Is she going to miss if she doesn't go? Yes, she is. So regardless that he's not giving me what it is I would like him to give me, do I think my child is in danger? No. Obviously, I would like to know where she is. Don't get me wrong, because I tried to say to him, imagine something happened now in the area. Imagine I'm watching the news and it's telling you big fire is happening in this area. I wouldn't know if my child's in that area.
You can't even go and collect your unit as well.
Do you think, that he told you because he may think you might turn up to the house or something?
Well, I said that to him. Like, what I asked for one time, after a little while, I said to him, would you mind giving your girlfriend my phone number? So that if anything was to happen,
she can contact you.
She could contact me, He said, what's going to happen? Well, obviously we don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. But what I'm saying is,
so you asked him to give her your number.
I said, I ain't got to take her.
But all now she could pre you on the WhatsApp and that. I don't know about that.
Gee, I don't care. I've got nothing to. What I'm talking about my child and her safety. I never asked for the girl. I said to him, I don't need this girl's number. I don't need it. What I'm talking about is when she, because he took her on holiday. They went to Paris for like the weekend.
Okay.
Again, he said to me, can you take my child to Paris? Blah, blah, blah. No problem. Me, obviously, come on, clever. I've been with you for 8 years. You're not going Paris on your own. Yeah? You ain't never been nowhere on your own. The only 2 people you could be going Paris with is your brethrens or a woman. You're not going on your own. So I asked him, I let it go for months and months and months. As it got nearer to the day, I said, oh, can you let me know who is going Paris? Again, none of your business. I said, well, yeah, it's my business. My child's going. Anyway, that's how I found out he had a girlfriend. Because he said, oh, I'm going with my girlfriend. I said, okay, cool. Who is this person? Is there anyone else going? And when he's asking why you're asking, I'm saying, because you're going to another country. If anything was to happen, who is going to tell me? Like, nothing's going to happen. You know, even if I leave the country, I'm giving my mum DLs. I'm letting her know. Like, I'm ringing her when I get there. Like, that's just what people do. You've got to check in.
Flip it the other way then. So if you had a partner, would you give his number to your partner if you had one?
Yes. I always thought when we broke up, because I
No, you won't.
No, gee, listen.
Two men got each other's number.
Listen.
Stop it right now.
Let me explain. When we broke up, because I broke up with him, I always was trying to be nice about it. I always felt like he wanted to be with me and I'm the one that ended it. So, you know, I was always trying to be nice about it. We still used to go to certain parties together, do certain things, because I was trying to be nice. And I always said to my friends, if I get a man, when I get a man, I'm going to make it as easy as possible. I'm not going to be difficult. Unfortunately, since we broke up, I've actually never had a real partner.
What's your take then on see, like, a girlfriend thinks she's important than your kids?
No.
Do you entertain it?
No.
Why do some women move like that, where they feel
No,
that
you're silly.
they have more rights than your child?
I feel that's women who don't have kids. I feel women who... So, and the guy last week touched on that. That some women who don't have kids are happy for you not to see your kids. Because really, they just want you for themselves. They're happy for all the time. They're not seeing the bigger picture. I could not find a man attractive if you're not being a good dad, if
100.
you're not doing what you need to do. Because what am I thinking? Oh, okay, wonderful, I get all his time, and when he's with me, we might have children, and then what, he'll change. No, you need to see what he's doing now.
that.
So you can't be more important than somebody's kids. However, I was having a conversation with someone this week, and they said to me that if their child didn't like the person they were seeing, they wouldn't see that person no more. And I told them I disagree with them on that. And the reason why I disagree is because I know when I was young and my mum met my stepdad, for absolutely no reason at all, I decided not to like him.
Was that because it wasn't your real?
Not really, because I didn't even
dad?
like my dad. No, not really. My dad had been gone for how many years? Probably like 10 years. I did not care. It shouldn't take for you to get put into a situation to be able to empathise with how other people feel. Yeah, it shouldn't take that. So, and this is where we're saying as parents, you should be able to understand where the mum's coming from. Mum should be able to understand where you're coming. You shouldn't have to. It shouldn't.
It should be that, but half of the time it's not like that.
Okay, but exactly. So when you don't want to be mature and you don't want to put yourself in that situation, you're not asking your friend. Like, ask people. Ask your mum what she thinks. Ask your dad what he thinks. Like, ask older people. Ask your friends. Like, I always think, how can your friends, sometimes when he's acting in a certain way, how can your friends not be giving you good advice? Like, everyone has their own opinion. Everyone's been in stuff. Like, if G told me something and I didn't agree, and I thought, I don't know his baby mum, I don't know her. But if I did not agree, I would be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not just gonna sugarcoat it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get. Even if you're telling me your point of view and I get what you're saying and I can hear it genuinely, I'm still gonna give you the correct advice that I see fit. So I just, sometimes I don't understand how people are acting the way they're acting. Like, are you not talking to other people?
But that's why, going back to G's situation, and I talk about who's in your circle, because the nonsense what he's there dealing with, there must be people in her circle to be telling
that
them,
must be giving her some good advice. Like,
listen,
it's not that deep. Like, the guy's actually a decent guy. Like, he wants to see the youth. What's the problem? It's because where she's painted the picture, to them, she's trying to make her like, I'm bad, I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
When it's not that.
Yeah, but surely they're old enough to understand.
It's like she's coming to the situation for, do you know what? Baby mother drama, baby father drama. That's how she sees it. Yeah, she don't know that this thing's serious.
I don't understand how any older person, like her mum, her dad.
One minute, hold that conversation. Hold it.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't understand how your baby mum doesn't have people giving her good advice about what is the right thing to do. My dad, who doesn't speak to my baby father, it's not like he sees him and only gets my side of the story, so I can sell it however I like and say whatever badness I like, will always be very clear on what is the right thing to do, especially coming from a dad's point of view. My dad is quick sometimes to tell me, when I was with your mum or back in the day, he will always give me the right advice. My mum will always give me the right advice. Do you see what I mean? What is best for the kids. So I don't understand how people don't have people in their circle, whether it be older people or friends.
So do you think some of these mothers who obviously act up, do you reckon that they haven't been brought up properly at home or something?
Well, for one, I reckon that they got other friends who are also like them. So I reckon there's a crew of bitter baby mums. I'm sorry, because like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and let my friend do stupidness. So I reckon that they're mingling with other people like them, and then maybe their parents are similar to them, hence why.
Yeah, so it's like for them, it's just like
it's the same.
I've got a drama baby father, and so have you, and it's just like, oh, we got our baby fathers are drama.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So they got that little edge with each other, and they're just trying to upkeep.
Yeah, I do. I'm not trying to diss any people's parents and all that, but I just feel like, as the daughter, you must be similar to your mum. Do you know what I mean?
100% similar to her mum.
I feel like I've learned from my mum, and I learned in the way where the bad things she does, I've learned not to do those things. Yeah. And obviously the good things she does, I've learned to follow those things. So I feel like, the apple can't fall too far from the tree, because as a mum, you cannot be letting your child do something that is wrong. Like, even if your daughter turned around and said to you, I don't care, I'm angry, he did this. As a mum, if you still have authority over your child, which you should have, no matter what age they're at, you should be able to say no. Even if you say, I'm going to get involved then, and I'm going to phone him on your behalf, or I'm going to allow the visitation, you take over. Like, my mum would take over. You think she would just let me get away with just doing the mad thing? She'll say, you're not listening. I'm going to take over, and this is what I'm going to do. Do you know what I mean? So, you can't be having that influence.
I totally agree to that. I believe mothers, from obviously seeing how my mum I saw my mum and my dad have a good friendship. So even though they wasn't together growing up, from young, they still had a good friendship, in a sense where it was always about, the focus was always on me and my brother. There wasn't no beef between them. So I have never witnessed any of that kind of behaviour. So when I see certain females move certain way, I'm like, raw, like, man, never experienced that kind of thing growing up, or seen that kind of thing growing up. So when I'm hearing people like moving in certain ways, I'm like, I don't understand that kind of behaviour. So unless you have witnessed that kind of behaviour when you were younger yourself, that's the only reason why you may be behaving like that towards somebody else.
And I just think it's double standards as well, because everybody has friends of the opposite sex, or siblings. I've got 2 brothers who have kids, and I just think, how can you, when it's your personal situation, yes, your feelings are clouding your judgment. But when someone else tells you about their situation, so when your brother comes and tells you about his situation, or your brethren comes and tells you about his situation, I'm sure your baby mum, for example, will be quick to understand where her male friend is coming from in his scenario, or where her family member, whether it be brother or cousin, would be coming from. So therefore, you've got to be mature enough to put yourself outside of your own situation
and look at it and be
and
like,
say,
wait,
you know
what am I
what?
actually doing?
Because like I said, my brothers, one of them is married, one of them has children, and I've always said to them, whenever they get in trouble with their miss or whatever, obviously I've got their back and but I always have to say to them, listen, I'm gonna give you the purest advice here. Like, you are 2 people with kids. Like, you've got to always do the right thing. Like, there is no, so I don't understand how a woman it can only be clouded judgment
you mentioned something a bit earlier on about maturity and about young people to be mature, or not as mature as from 21 to maybe 31. But there are some people who are 31, like, who are still acting up.
Yeah, they've got the maturity of a 21-year-old. But that must be how they are in general. Surely they must be that maturity in all sorts of things that they do. So even if they was to get in a relationship, for example, with someone, surely, because like you said, if I was to meet someone, I would be like, oh, okay, I want them to be this certain age. But that's not a guarantee, because I could meet a man tomorrow who could be in his 30s, but he may still be immature. So it's not a guarantee. It's what it's what you kind of expect. So of course, I mean, don't go and date a man. Let me not go and date a man who's 22 and expect anything other than immaturity. Yeah. But if so with age, you expect a certain amount, but that doesn't mean it's true, because you might meet someone who's young and is mature, and you might meet someone who's older who is immature. I can only hope that it comes with age, because it can surely, and like I said, if they are still immature in their 30s, well, then it's just taking them a bit longer. And in 10 years' time, surely they can't be in there still demonstrating the same type of maturity.
It's like there's not a time really on it to how they're behaving. It's just either it's when they get over the hurt. I just think that they only behave the way they behave is because they just hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
they hurt.
Sometimes men don't understand the power that they have. And
what power do we have?
I got a cough to that one.
In the sense, I'm saying, like, when a woman loves you, that it really is what clouds everything that goes on in her mind. Like, and even if you don't deserve to be loved, if she loves you, it will affect everything she does and the way that she acts about everything. And you will see the complete difference when she does not love you no more. Or the same for when she hates you.
What's the difference?
Everything will be free. She'll be free. She'll be liberated. She don't know that yet, innit? Because she's still waiting. But it's the same with hate. If she hates you, she's still going to act on how she feels. That's still going to cloud it. But when you really don't care, like, honestly, so take it from my scenario, yeah? Imagine as a mum, your ex gets a new partner, and like you said, he's taking the child on holiday, you don't know who the person is. Your child sleeps at their house, you don't know who the person is. He's gone on to have more kids now. If I cared about him and wanted to be with him in any way, how do you think I would act? I would make everything difficult because I'd be trying to get him back, or not even trying to get him back, but just not.
But do you know what?
But because I don't care what he's.
Okay.
He's got kids. Okay.
Okay, let's stop then. So why is it where some ladies they got their own boyfriend already, right? They got their own boyfriend, but they're still trying to make the dad's life miserable. Why would they do that? If she's moved on in her life, why does the father still having problems with trying to see his child?
Because some of these gal want a new man to come play daddy.
Yeah.
So if the daddy's absent, they ain't got no worries. So the man gonna feel comfortable to try and come play daddy when he don't really love that youth. He might go and bring him little football, bring him to the shop, bring him a few sweets. Yeah, but he ain't daddy.
Yeah, but
do you understand? When he's ready to up and leave, he's gone.
But what Mullah might be saying is, say that woman has got a new man playing daddy, and everything's good. She's got someone playing.
It's all happy at home now.
Why would she still be trying to give her?
Because she's trying to fuck you over.
But why? Why is she trying
So
to?
she still
you
can't feelings then. So
Why?
that means
Exactly, yeah.
she still loves you.
Exactly.
Or hates you, or hates you.
She
Or
hates you, exactly, and she
loves
wants
you
to
or
burn
she
you
hates
out
you.
as much as possible.
She loves you or she hates you.
That's what I think.
Because let me tell you something. You know in general, even like with friendships and or family members, you everybody will appreciate. I'm sure it's a lot to forgive someone. When someone's hurt you, it is a lot to really forgive them. Do you know what I mean? So some of the things my baby father has done, honestly, I could still be angry at it, even though it's been years. I could still deep down be mad. I could. Some things I could find unforgivable. Some things I could really hold on to and literally say, I can't forgive when he done that to me or when he put me through that. But as you know, for your own self to move on, for you to really reflect on yourself and say, 1, I'm not perfect. I've definitely done things. 2, I would forgive a family member who done something bad to me. So why can't I forgive someone else? But that's all about me. That's nothing to do with him.
But the child as well. Because out of all of this, where everyone's emotions are getting thrown left, right and centre, but we still remember there's still a child involved. So if the focus is on the child, why does the mum feel she has to be bitter or feels that, you can't see your child and do whatever, where at the end of the day, the dad just wants to come and take his child and go. Let me take my child and go.
Do you know why? Because there's too many situations where single mums are raising their kids without any baby father input. So if a man is choosing not to be in his child's life, there's too many situations from, our parents' era and all that, where mums are having to do it, where dads are not involved. So because it can be done. And you can raise perfectly good children.
Do you know what makes
Some mums are thinking, I'm not doing anything wrong by stopping my child from seeing it. That's what they're thinking. That's what they're thinking. Though they're thinking, my friend never had a child in her life, and a dad in her life, and she was fine. They're thinking it can be done because there's plenty of situations where some men choose not to be in their child's life, and the child grows up and they're perfectly fine. So that's what the mum convinces herself. She convinces herself it's fine. It can be done. I will raise my child on my own, and they will be fine. Yes, they will be fine. But will they be the best that they can be? Of course they will be fine. But are you hoping for fine?
But the mental stage as well, I think that can also have an impact because that can also make the child grow up to hate the dad.
This is what I'm saying. Are you hoping for fine? Like, if a mum is pushed into the situation where the dad wants nothing to do with the child.
It's different.
Right. Then you've got to be strong You've got to raise your child and you've got to bring them up knowing that they are good enough and they are successful. And it does not matter what your dad is. But that's only if you have to. Yeah? And that's because of the dad. That's his choice.
Why did you and your baby father split up?
Why are you asking me that randomly all of a sudden?
It's the baby fathers. It's everything is real.
Into my business.
You need to know why you're here.
What happened?
Nothing happened. He just wasn't...
Nothing. You just grew apart.
No, it wasn't even we grew apart. He wasn't giving me what I needed from a relationship.
And what was you looking for in a relationship?
Commitment.
So he was here in a day. He wasn't
Is
moving
he a
in.
cheater?
No, not a cheater. Not at all. He's not a cheater, and he never actually treated me bad. Do you know what I mean? I would never say that he actually did anything wrong to me. Like, he wasn't ever like abusive, threatening, aggressive, none of these things. So what he wasn't doing was giving me what I need in a relationship. So you weren't giving me the love that I need, the affection that I need, the attention that I need.
Vitamin D.
Do you know what I mean?
Was it not enough?
Such a shit. Just everything. That's what the family that I wanted. The environment, everything. Considering we
Did you want to get married to him?
Well, no, I didn't want to get married to him because
at the time you might have because you wanted
because he never
commitment.
showed me that he never showed me that was someone I wanted to get married to. But in my life, but for me in general, yes, I wanted to get married. But what I would say is we were together for about 8 years, and I feel like the last couple of years, I feel like they were the same as the first years. That is what the problem was for me.
Isn't that the honeymoon period in the first years? So
not in the honeymoon, in the new sense. You know, like if you meet a person, you only been with them for a year, you only have certain expectations. Like what we were saying. You got your life, I got my life. You got your kids, I got my kids. We do this, we do that.
What's the matter if a guy has got his own place? Like, is that a thing where
you're not fully in? You're not fully in. You. It's like your head is saying, just in case we don't work out. Now, I know we should all be realistic, and you should all, you should kind of think like we're not in a fairy tale world. Come on, we might not last forever, but so you can't have your own house, but you sleep at your baby mum's and your child's house, but all your clothes are at your other house, and some clothes are here, but really you go to your other house. No.
Do you think that? Because I'll tell you straight, right? I always grew up to know to have your own place, and that was just based on if a woman decided to kick you out or tell you, "Well, come out of the house forever," you're not left stranded on the street.
Okay, but own place.
The black man saying.
You get
That's
it?
the black man saying. Not everyone knows that. Not everyone knows that saying, but it's the black man saying.
But when you say own place, it depends. So, say you got a property that you rent out to people, that's your place, right? But you rent it to people. But yeah, if you broke up with your woman, you'd have to.
But you're not breaking up. It's when you have an argument. Say you have an argument with your partner.
Have you got money like that?
No, stop.
You got money that you pay rent on this place, you pay rent on our place, just so that in case we have an argument, you can go back to your place.
Yeah, man might have it like that. Man might have it good.
You know what? When you got that kind of money, then cool, you better. But also, that's what I'm saying. You can't.
He clearly never had that kind of money.
No, he did have that money. That's what I'm saying. That's why he had that place. But what I'm saying is, you can't live in two places. If all your stuff is in our house. But like you said, you got somewhere where you might need to go if we argue. Cool, I can live with that. But what I couldn't live with is really that was your house. Yeah, you had such a small amount of stuff at our house. Like I just felt like this is not really your house. It still felt like you was a guest. Like he used to give me money. Say you give me money to contribute to the bills. Honestly, I want to be a grown up. I want to share my life with someone and the responsibility.
So why do you leave your house and go in his yard? And lose everything.
He never asked me to come.
Like, that's true though. That's a good point.
No, you're right. You're right. He
That's
never
a good
asked me
point.
to come. He never asked me to come.
So would a
he
lady
never asked me to go in his house.
But would you have went and give up your property?
Yeah, I would have went.
And give up your property?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, should I tell you why?
And then he kick you out, and then you're back at mummy's.
Yeah, but you can get. It's fine. You can get a property.
Nice.
You can. You get your. You have your money there.
Because of your child.
No, because you have your money there. You have your 1 month's deposit. You have your 1 month's rent. You could get a property if you need to get a property. That's what I'm saying. It's not always about people. I think people like to claim that I need to keep my yard, like especially it's my council house, I better keep it, don't want to lose it, or like you said, got to have something. Sometimes I think people are using that as an excuse because at the end of the day, I got my property is not a council place, I private rent. The way I got that property was having 1 month's rent and 1 month's deposit. So if I go and live with someone and we get kicked out, as long as I got 1 month's rent and 1 month's deposit, I can find another property. So it's not always about. It's what people use as an excuse. I need to keep it just in case. Council, I can't give it up. It's lies. It's absolute lies.
Are women able to be trusted if their man is locked up in jail?
No.
Well, yeah. Why? Why should they be trusted? Why should they be trusted? Listen, I would say if a woman says she's going to be loyal to you while you're in jail, then she should be loyal because that's what she said she was going to do. I don't think that that's what women should do. I don't think that's what they should.
So if your man went jail,
depends how long he was going for.
So what's the longest before you wouldn't be with him?
2 years.
So anything above 2 years, you're
Anything
gone.
above 2 years.
I believe that if I went jail, and I would want my woman to be free. I wouldn't want to, if it's especially over 10 years.
Months for someone. Easily.
Over 8 years, 10 years, I would expect her to just, you know what, get on with your life.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I've done what I've done. I've put myself in a bad place, and you need to enjoy life. Don't sit there waiting for me.
That's ridiculous. As a man, if you don't
if
say
she
that
waits,
to your woman,
she waits.
No, but
bonus.
If you don't say that to, if you don't say that to your, if you got 10 years and you don't say to your woman, you need to go. And when I say
because
go,
you're in
and when I
denial.
say go, you need to make it difficult. You need to say, don't call me. You need to say, well, you need to say, I'm not calling you. Like you, she needs to try and book a visit, and the answer is no. You can't. You need to make it. You can't just say, I told her to go and she didn't go. You need to really be selfless and say this can't work. But anything like I waited when I was young. Like this is saying, and this is not at my age now. This is 10 years ago. I waited for someone 18 months. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. There was not even it was not difficult. There was not temptation. It was the easiest thing I'd ever done. But what I'm saying is, don't expect that when you're going on 2 years, 3 years, especially depending on what the scenario is. If you've got no kids, for example, and you're 30, why should you wait 5 years for someone? What? You ain't got no kids. Your life is not moving on. You're not developing. You've also got to think about what's that person going to be like when they get out of jail. Because you are going to have moved with the times and you're going to have grown and matured and experienced a lot of things to now develop your character. That person has been living in a bubble.
So if you love the person, would you not wait? If you really love that, if you so-called love that person so much, you wouldn't wait.
No, shall I tell you why? I love the person that went into jail. The person that is coming out of jail, you are not the same person. You're not, and
you can't say that.
I can say that. I can say that. I can say that.
That's like me, good-hearted brother, go to jail and then come out. I know I'm not saying good-hearted brother. I'm just out now.
Yeah, you're a good-hearted brother. But okay, say you went to jail now, G. Say you went to jail for 5 years and you come out 5 years. You have not now experienced the last 5 years of the world. You are not. You cannot build on like what's been happening. Like, oh, this was happening and I've matured in this way and this has happened. Technology is. You haven't experienced any of that stuff.
Yeah, but that doesn't change who he is.
It is. Well, you got to come out now, and I've got to mold you. I've got to develop.
Nah, you don't. You don't. Because us man, we're out here. We know how to adapt to any environment, which is why we're still here. We're adapting. We're moving with the times, regardless if you go on pause or not.
Nah.
Trust me.
Also, when you come out of jail, like I said, I'm talking from experience. I've been with people that have been in jail. Talking from experience. When they come out, hold on, you're starting from page 0.
But I get what you're saying.
You ain't got no money now.
Mentality.
You need to get a job
money
now.
And that shouldn't be important.
No, hold on. I've got to help you now.
Yes,
like,
that's what a woman's
and he was helping you beforehand.
Cool, and that's not a problem. I'm only talking
if he was.
I'm just talking from the sense that depends if that's what you're willing to do. Yeah. And when I was with someone, I never had a child, so it was different. There's no child involved. Yeah, so it's just me and it's just you. So cool. You went to jail. When you come out, I stayed with the person. I was willing. You come out, you ain't got a job. We've got to work on that. You might have to lean on me. I might have to. It's not a problem. But when you're a parent, your child has to come first.
Yeah,
so you can't start me saying, "Oh, okay, but what's my child gonna been doing for them?" But even if it's the child's dad, like, what? Where am I telling the child that the dad's been, or now the dad's out? Where are we gonna be as a family?
So if your child's father went jail, would you bring your daughter to see him? Of course you would.
I would if that's
because you're decent.
I would if that's what he wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what he's wanted.
I don't think it's a good thing though.
I don't think it's a good. I don't think it's a good thing. It's not. Like,
so what? The father should just be absent then?
I think so.
I don't agree.
No. The thing is,
why should the father be absent now all of a sudden just because he's in jail?
Be honest.
What? Tell the child, oh yeah, daddy's on holiday.
This is what I'm saying.
For so long.
Either way,
it's rubbish.
The fact that the child goes to jail, that's the trauma done there. It's done. Yeah. Whoever's fault it is, the trauma is done because the dad went to jail. How you manage it, obviously you're trying to minimize the trauma, but the trauma is done because, like you said, if you tell the child your dad is in the army and serving his country, your child is still being affected by the fact that they don't see their their dad regularly. Their dad is gone. They could, whatever story you tell, whether he's working somewhere, the child is missing their dad, so the trauma is happening. Or if you bring them to the jail, then now the next trauma is they are becoming accustomed to, my dad's in jail, this is what jail life is like. So what I'm saying is, the fact that the dad goes to jail, the damage is done and it can't be undone. No matter how you play it out, you can't undo that your child is now going to be affected. You just have to decide what's right for you as to what is the best way to move. And maybe depending on child's age, you might, you know what I mean? Like say the child.
But that's just with me. I would let, if everyone in the bin touch with it, yeah. But if everyone in the bin, my youths ain't coming to see me. They have to. If it has to be that damage.
But what if the mum was ringing you saying your child is crying? Your child wants to see
my
your
little
dad.
man's coming to see me. My daughters, they're coming to see me.
This is what I'm saying. What if your child is upset and it can be all taken away if you just bring them on a visit and let them hug their daddy and chat with their daddy?
It's just the fact to see me in a box like that.
I know. And obviously you're going to have to answer some questions and you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to answer for yourself and explain why you're there, what you've done.
I'll rather explain to my kids what's happening and I'll be back soon.
Right, and because you've got to put yourself in your mum's point of view.
But what I'm now doing, I'm now being the next mini-man to say, well, if my dad's been there, then it's cool for me to go there too.
Nah.
You don't ever see there's a chain reaction.
No, but Ridler, you say that. But statistics do not show that every dad that's been in jail.
I'm not saying every.
So you can't.
I'm saying some, but what happens is with the some, their attitude to the life is, well, I saw my dad do it.
Okay, but
so
maybe
you
say to your child, you never do this. You never ever do this.
We do that, but it's just the same thing where someone is shotting. You said that the dad was shotting before, right? And then when he's shotting now, his son's now thinking, oh, it's cool to shot because I saw my dad doing it. Where if your dad's telling you, oh, don't do something, but you see the dad doing it, you're contradicting yourself because I see you doing it.
Yeah, but there's no wrong or right because that's what I'm saying. There is no foolproof way to say if you smoke weed, your child will smoke weed, and there's no foolproof way to say if you don't smoke weed, your child won't smoke weed. There is no foolproof way. It will. You know what I mean? It will contradict itself.
I think that's one of the
it will
reasons
contradict
why
itself at all times. It's more about regardless because that's like saying. Sometimes I'll be drinking alcohol. Sometimes my daughter will be telling me, you're drinking. I'm like, listen, girl, you're 7, relax. But that's what if she sees me with Coke, she'll be like, is there alcohol in there? Because I don't drink Coke. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't mean, in order to be a good role model, I must never drink alcohol and I must never do these things because I need my child never to see me do it. Sometimes you've also just got to educate and instill and, like you said, it doesn't matter, not necessarily what you do, but maybe what you're saying to someone. So if you shot, you know, there's a reason why you shot.
I need to wrap this up, you lot. It's been a good conversation. I hope we have touched on everything today. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow the page. Shara, anything to say before we go, girl?
Guys, I hope you like the difference between male and female today. If you do, make sure you comment and make sure Ridler gets it on a bit more.
Yeah. Hi, you lot. Listen, go on, big up to the studio crew as well. Don't forget Ugly Studios. Make sure you check them out. The settings that you can see now. If you do podcasts, if you want to do podcasts, sorry, they have podcast facilities. They have music studio, photographer studio. You get me? Check them out. Ugly Studios.
Customer service as well.
Yeah, good customer service. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, we're there. So listen, we need to head out. So yeah, we're done. We are the baby fathers. Boom, we're gone. All right.
Cool.